second derivative, like why you care about the second derivative. If it says point of inflection, if it says concavity or concave, any form of that word, acceleration. Is that how you spell acceleration?
Yeah.
2 L's?
1 L.
1 L.
1 L.
What's debating? Acceleration. Okay? Let me give you a hint. If you see a problem and you don't know what to do, take the derivative, set it equal to 0, the first derivative, and you're probably right. You could get a 70% on this test if you did that on every problem. Everyone okay with that? So if you don't know what to do, try that.
Okay, first derivative?
Simple, right?
The first one?
First derivative. First derivative is the most important thing you're going to learn in this class. Except for maybe how to get stuff done quickly. Okay. That's the second derivative. Implicit? Yes.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, you may.
So when we find the points of inflection or the critical points, what do we plug the critical
Whenever
numbers?
it's a point, you have to have an x value and a y value, and you only ever get y value from the original equation.
So the original for both. Okay.
We'll talk all about the semantics
Thank
in
you.
just a minute, which is, I know, your favorite part. My least favorite part, too. Okay, implicit differentiation. This one, you need to be able to recognize it. How you're going to recognize it is you're going to have x's and y's in the same equation, and it's going to have an equal sign. Does that make sense? So, for example, okay, so equation of x's and y's with equals. I probably should say with equal sign. For example, this would not be implicit differentiation because the y is solved for. This would be implicit differentiation. See how it has a square? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? You need to know how to do, you need to be able to find dy, dx, and the equation of a tangent line. Make sense? Sequences in series?
Why is it again? The y is not, but y squared is?
It's just not solved for y. It's not already solved for y. Actually, they would probably make it more obvious, like have it be like y squared x equals 3y minus e to the x or something like that. There's no way to solve for y so nicely. So, okay. Sequences in series I'm not going to talk about right now. I'm just going to chuck up the formulas when we need them in a minute. Same with Taylor polynomials. And now we're going to get started. Well, we've already been started, but you know, we gotta go. Okay. Not worth it. Trying to think. I know.
What is this?
5. I think it's a minimum. How many of you guys love LNs? Oh yeah, right? Okay, you're going to see so many LNs and so many E's on this test and on your third test and on your fourth test. Just learn how to be friends with them. And then you can be done for the rest of your life. Let's just go relative. Okay, so what do we do, guys? Yeah. We're going to do the first derivative. I think it's the minimum. I may have got it wrong. Yeah.
If it just says minimum, do you assume it means
Unless it
relative?
says absolute, you just assume it's relative. Okay, so we're going to just take the first derivative, right?
Yeah.
You guys see a product rule? I'm seeing the product rule.
Does that look good?
Prove the
Can you
first
see her and stuff?
times the second plus the first times the derivative
to the
of
left.
the second. I'm just showing you problems that I have seen people struggle with on the past. I'm not going to tell you if they've been on past exams or not. That way I don't get in any trouble. Yeah? Yeah? No? Yeah? You all okay?
Can I help?
No. Okay. ln of x. Notice that this cancels plus 1. I need to set this equal to 0 to get my critical numbers. So, there are a couple of ways we can do this. I'm going to show you my preferred method. The ln of x equals negative 1. I need to get rid of the ln. So, e raised to the ln undoes the ln. So that I have to raise both sides as powers on the e. So this would be x equals e to the negative 1, which is the same thing as 1 over e. Now you ready for the trickiness? This is the x value. They asked for the minimum value. The minimum value is the y value. Whenever it uses the word value, unless it has an x in front of it, it's a y. Simple. Now you ready for the trickiness? This is my x, but the right answer is a negative 1 over e. You want to know why? I think you should. Y equals 1 over e, ln of 1 over e. What's the ln of 1 over e? It's negative 1. Let me show you why. This is the same thing as e to the negative 1 power, right? Do you remember the rules I gave you on logarithms, that the power can come out front? And the ln of e is 1. Do you see how tricky? But you won't be tricked. Everyone okay? You see it? Who understands? Who's lost? Who hates e's and ln's? Okay, some people are still awake. Okay, ready for number 2? I'm just chucking stuff at you that I think you should know. Is it more helpful if I go in order sequentially?
Yeah.
No.
Who says? Yeah, I can do that. Yes. Yes, we should do the sign test. So like this is 1 over e, right? I'm pretty sure that's less than 1. If I plug 1 in here, I would have ln of 1 is 0. So I'd be left with plus sign. And if I plug in 1 over e, I don't know what that is, but if I plug in 0.36. So if I plug in like 0.1, this is going to be a really big negative number. That's going to be a positive number. Negative, so it goes decreasing, increasing. Make sense? How many of you guys understand why if it's decreasing then it's increasing, it's a minimum? Who doesn't understand? Someone's going to tell me, are they? They're probably shy. Probably. Yeah?
I kind of don't know.
Kind of don't understand? Okay, follow me on this. Rafa? If I'm going down and then I'm going up,
Right.
is it possible for this to be the highest point?
No.
So it has to be a low point, right? Basic concept.
Well, it's defined. Well, I guess what didn't click was that 1 over e.
Is it an ugly
But
number?
I get it now because it's 0.36.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, we're going to do another one. It's slightly different. Find the absolute extrema so far so good? Okay, this is tricky and I'm going to tell you why it's tricky. Usually they give you bounds for absolute extrema. On this one they did not give you bounds. So what you have to do is you have to check the limits at positive and negative infinity. We'll do it in just a second. First we're going to take the derivative, find the critical numbers, find which one's a max, which one's a min, all that jazz. You cool?